I'm going to begin.
Hey.
So my oven broke earlier, right? And I got in a real huff about it. Bear with me. And I got in a real huff about it, and I was getting really annoyed. I couldn't find it. My pasta bake wouldn't cook, and I was really annoyed. Anyway, and then I watched this show, and it just kind of put, in just what that 1 hour just put so much in perspective. And I realized I got so annoyed about something so trivial that could be fixed in such a small instance. And that was just me watching it as an audience member. You guys played characters in this world, the characters that had to make these decisions that were literally life or death. Did that have a profound effect on you guys at all? Did it leave that kind of, did it change that your perspective in any way, shape or form?
Yes, of course it did. Of course it did. And it continues, and life continues to change my perspective. You know, I have family members on a text chain talking about how late their kids have to, you know, how early their kids have to come into school. And I'm thinking, well, just be great, but like our kids have it easy. The kids are in Ukraine they don't even have school. You know, it all puts it into perspective. We've got to look at, these tragedies, these tragic moments, right? To reorient us and redirect us, in terms of gratitude, but also just in terms of, you know, looking to the future and how can we be better? How can we do better? How can we be better prepared?
I was reading that though the real people and the people you're sort of playing here weren't involved in production, but did you guys seek out them at all? Did you want to speak to them? I know some actors like to speak to the real people they're playing. It sort of helps them, and some like to keep a distance. What was your process in this?
For me, the screenplay was completely separate from the book. I use Sheri's book for things like understanding how the hospital itself, how the plant itself worked, and that sort of thing. But my character is completely a new creation, because who knows what she would have said. And yet Carlton and John had to write whole monologues of what she said. So it was sort of made out of whole cloth from what I know about my friends who are nurses and from what I know about that terrible period in New Orleans. And but I tried to, as far as my character, stay away from the book, because that's not, in fact, who I was playing.
Yeah, and so Sheri Fink's book was everything to me. I think, you know, when I did have a lot of Anna's taped interviews and testimonies, radio interviews to go on. But otherwise, I took all my cues from everybody that Sheri interviewed. You know, when you do have, I felt a tremendous responsibility to capture her spirit and her essence. But I think for me, what I found to be a fuller picture of who she is was all the interviews that Sheri did with her friends, her family members, her loved ones, her patients, her fellow doctors and nurses that had worked with her, and to have all these multiple perceptions of the character all informed my interpretation.
Brilliant. Unfortunately, it's such a short interview, but thank you so much.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I'm going to fix my oven now. Take care.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,